Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to another Cosmic Trial guide for Marvel Heroes Omega. Now for this particular video we will run through the Cosmic Trial with Iron Man. He's freshly hit level 60, so all he has is super heroic gear, no legendary, we don't have any boss specific artifacts or anything like that. He can pass the trial, but it's really quite a tight one. This is by far the most difficult trial that I've managed to pass on a hero, so I will say that in advance. If you want a challenge, certainly try and pass with this gear, but you may want to save yourself some frustration and gear him up a little bit, but we'll show off the fact that it is possible. Now before we do the trial, what I will do is quickly showcase the skills and talents that I would use. We'll then run through the trial, and finishing up I'll show off the actual gear I've used as well. But first up, let's look at the skills and talents. Now for the skill setup here, we're actually not using any kind of spender. The main reason for that is his basic spender doesn't do a great deal of damage and it roots you, and other spenders that can do a nice amount of damage will actually cause your spirit to run out too quickly. So I prefer to stay on the move and just fire off all the cooldown skills. Now for the cooldown skills, the first one I use is micro missiles. So you fire out missiles and they're heat seeking and they seek in on the enemy, so you don't have to worry about what direction you're facing. Just fire these off and forget. You get 2 charges on them with a low 3-second cooldown, so you'll be spamming this pretty often. We then have satellite strike, so this works as a dot, it has a 100% critical hit chance and it makes the enemy vulnerable. Following on from that, we have coolant blast, so this will slow the enemy and it actually freezes them for 1.5 seconds as well, which is really quite useful. The fact you can cast it every 6 seconds means you've got a quite nice uptime on that freeze. We then have our execute skill, which is Unibeam, so you want to try and line up all the enemies before using this because it pierces and it does go through all of them. And then we have arc reactor overload, so we use this to regenerate our, I would say spirit, but it's not a spirit on Iron Man, it's energy. So we use it to regenerate that, and it will regenerate 40% of your maximum suit power. And then we have system shock, so this is quite nice. This is a channeled skill, works as a dot and it stuns the enemy for 2 seconds, and it's quite a large area. It's essentially like Sith lightning bolts, so it looks great but it can hit a lot of enemies at the same time. And final skill we look at is the one-off, which is our signature, and we add invulnerable while casting it, so cast it as often as you can of course, but if you do see a large hit that's about to hit you, feel free to cast this as well if it's available to be invulnerable for it. But next up, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the talents we would use. We have quite a simple talent setup here then. The first one we use is overclocking, and this means that arc reactor's damage bonus is increased 100% and we also gain 840 damage rating. Your suit power cost does go up by 10%, but we're able to maintain that through the arc reactor that we're firing off every so often. We then have power conduit, so this transforms repulsor barrage into system shock, which is a skill which we were saying is really quite useful. This is a Sith lightning skill here, and it also gives you 1750 bonus health, so every little helps. We then have upgrade orbital interface, and this transforms Jericho bombardment into satellite strike, and that means that it then always critically hits, and that's really pretty useful considering it's a dot and it's going off often. We then have upgrade micro lasers, so this one, it will transform channeled repulsors into micro lasers, which we're not using. However, it brings the cooldown of your signature, the one-off, down by 5 seconds, so it brings it down to only 15 seconds. So that's really great for clearing trash. You can use that, well, I was going to say you can use it often, you can use it every 15 seconds, so you know that's often. And final talent is upgrade repulsors, so with this one the Unibeam deals more damage, has a cooldown, fires instantly, and it gains the execute effects on it as well, and all our energy skills gain a 10% power damage bonus, so that really does work out great. What we'll do now anyway, run through the Cosmic Trial. This one is a pretty hairy one and my hands were a bit sweaty by the end of it, I'll say that in advance, but we'll run through it. Once we complete it, we'll show off the gear that I've used as well.
Sorry, not happening. My armor's trashed.
A Mandarin is invincible. Feel the Mandarin's wrath.
My batteries are dry.
So many ways to hurt you.
Sorry, not happening. Sorry, not happening.
I am all-powerful. This cannot be.
Villain met, Iron Man applied, problem solved. Not bad.
Do you know who you face? enough to be true, Hydra. Die, subhuman fool! No.
There we go, we really were down to the wire there, and I wouldn't fancy doing that again, truth being told. That really was a difficult one. So gear wise, as we can see and we've mentioned already, no legendary, just regular artefacts, story artefacts in fact, and just regular super heroic gear there. So you can get through the trial if you're freshly at level 60, but be prepared for a bit of a challenge. So next up, Cosmic Trial guide wise, we'll cover Doctor Strange, and he's a lot easier. But thanks for tuning in for this particular video anyway, and I'll see you all again soon.